Dr. Sella here, and when you run the under center triple option offense, you're done focusing on your opponent. You're done. And this is the reason why. The triple option offense is an internal conflict. Your opponents are nameless and faceless. Keep this in mind. From 2008 to 2016, when Navy was running the under center triple option offense the right way, they would get a different base defense from their opponent over 70% of the time. Over 70% of the time, they would get a different base defense than their opponent played all year. It's a waste of time to prepare for your opponent, because when you're running the zone dive, the mid triple, the trap, the toss, and the passing game that comes off the triple, people are going to play you differently. You can't go out and focus on your opponent. You got to go out there and focus on yourself, and you got to make football an internal conflict. You got to stop wasting your weekends and wasting your energy on your opponent, because it doesn't matter. Because no matter whether or not you play Denver High School or the Denver Broncos, you're going to line up and run the zone dive. It doesn't really matter. And you're going to constrain from there with the mid-triple, the trap, and the toss. It doesn't matter. So what's the point? What are you worried about? The defense the opponent runs? You better be practicing that the first 10 practices of camp. That's got to be your focus. You got to focus on, and I've said this to my clients and in recent years more so than I did when I was younger. You got to focus on blocking goal line fronts. How to block a 7 diamond, a 6-5, bear, eagle fronts. Then getting into triple stack. And then you start to get into 50 defense and 4-2. If you can't block a 6-5 goal line and you can't block a 7 diamond, you got to get good at blocking that stuff first, because that's the hardest thing you're ever going to face are goal line fronts. People that don't give you a safety. They're going to literally they're going to cover 5-on-5, and they're going to defend the run with the 6 people, and that's it. So you got to focus on that. So it doesn't matter what your opponent ran. You're going to be ready for goal line fronts. You're going to be ready for anything an opponent throws at you, because it's not a system based on what the opponent's doing. You line up and you run your offense, and you're done wasting your weekends trying to figure out what your opponent's doing, because it doesn't matter. You're going to run zone dive anyway. And you've got to practice the scenarios in camp. Not during the season, in camp. Stop making under center triple option football about your opponent. Make it about yourself. You got to get good at your triple team. You got to get good at your scoop. You got to get good at your quarterback B-back exchange. You got to get good at your fan block. Zone dive, you got to get good at your A-back scanning, the play side hip of the tackle, two-hand slamming, whoever shows. Nobody shows, go to the second level. You got to get good on mid-triple, going through the situations of where the action key aligns and what the offensive line does based on the action key. You got to get good at that. You got to get good at the trap. You got to cover all that. It's your job to cover that in camp. And this is why I say over and over, practice is about practicing the game. It's about running plays. It's about skilled players and linemen working together. Quarterbacks working with the offensive line, because the game is different when there's an offensive line in front of them. I got to get you ahead of the curve. And that's what this YouTube channel is all about. It's to give you a taste of how to get ahead of the curve in the sport of football, like I've helped so many others win big and fast. I give you a taste of it here. Now, when you become a client, then you learn it all. You learn all of the details that matter. So if you're ready to become a client, give me a call. My number is on the thumbnail of this video. So is my website. The Triple Option Football Academy is $9.97. You get it for 2 years. Get ready to win. Get ready to get your weekends back. Let's roll.